They say nice guys finish last, right? Well, the best back in the best shape of my life. Like the checks cash and now they paying the price, right? In showdowns I showcase my skills. Throw weight around, my weight in pounds tipping the scale. Shit, we taking this whole year. Catch up.
Hergott here, and I'm with Michelle, and you just did some kick-ass working out with Nichelle.
Short and sweet and tough.
Okay, what was your experience like with that?
I think when fitness is a way of life, you sometimes get into a groove and you think you're maybe up here and in really great shape. And then when you train with someone like Nichelle and she puts you through something different, you realize that it's an never-ending process of learning, and your body can always have a different challenge. And it was really tough. I haven't done a couple of the things that she showed me, and she kicked my butt in a short time. It was great.
There's no way you've had kids, right?
I've had four.
Four kids, and looks like this. That's incredible.
Thank you.
You're not just a pretty face, so to speak. Your work is very cool. So tell me what it is that you do.
Well, I started my career teaching inner city English to high school students, and I fell in love with teaching in general, and then I fell in love with teaching the tough to reach type kids. And my career transitioned into working with severely disabled, medically fragile children. Some are terminal, some are palliative. Some have rare genetic disorders, cerebral palsy. So for the last 11 years, I've spent my life working with human beings who have minds that work. Some are very, very high functioning, but they're trapped in their bodies or in bodies that don't work. And it's every day I get a dose of perspective, but I also, I'm blessed in that it makes me value that I can do these things with my body, and why more of us don't cherish the fact that we have bodies and health boggles my mind.
Tell me about your brother.
My family's a very close family, very, very close family. My brother was my big brother, alpha male, airline captain for Air Canada, good looking, lived a wonderful life, met the love of his life, had 2 children later in life. Always kind of told me what to do and how to do it. And he was diagnosed with cancer, and it took him very quickly, and he passed away in December. And I took some time off of work and even the gym, and I was with him in his final days. And I think that was another moment for me where I realized here's this amazing human being, vibrant, everything to live for, healthy, didn't do anything excessive with his lifestyle, and cancer took him very quickly. And it's just another reminder that in life, we have one life to live, and you better make it a good one, and you better give back, but you also need to do things for yourself and appreciate your health. So shortly after he passed, I created a bucket list, because I know my brother had some dreams and things that weren't accomplished. So I thought, instead of waiting too long for accomplishing some of my dreams and goals, I created the bucket list, and I'm doing it bit by bit. This one's a little more selfish, I guess you could say. So I'm not selfish, but I'm starting it off with something very about me. But I'm going to accomplish this one first. I've given it a year, and I'm going to give it my all and go from there.
Well, I mean, it's okay to look after yourself,
Right.
and it's positive to keep yourself healthy, and also to be an inspiration to others.
My one son has Tourette's. I don't know if I shared this with you. So my one son has Tourette's, which is a neurobiological disorder. What I've discovered for my little angel is that physical fitness really helps him be centered and grounded, healthy diet, eating healthy as much as we can for a 13-year-old, exercise, moving his body, learning the whole connection between brain and body, because there's a huge connection. I'll never forget training. Mindy O'Brien trained me for my first competition, and I love her and adore her, and I always still hear her in my head. And one of the things she always said to me is, focus on the body part, focus on your muscle. And I would close my eyes and actually think I'm working shoulders, I'm working. So with my son, I'm finding that bringing him to the gym with me, teaching him how to be more in control of his body, and eating healthy has really helped him with Tourette's and his struggles. And he would be the first to say, Mom, like, we leave the gym and he's like, I feel so good. And then my other daughter, who's here with us today, suffered from an eating disorder in grade 7. She was admitted into the program at South Lake Hospital, who have an amazing program. She grew very tall and very curvy, very fast, and was teased. And she thought the best way to control that was to starve herself and get small. And since then, she's now almost end of grade 10. I've introduced her to eating clean, to healthy lifestyle, to exercise, and she's learned a lot of lessons.
You've been on the dating scene for a while, and
About 5 years.
5 years, okay. So you got to hit me up with. You told me you have epic dating stories. So
I do. I was set up with someone, and I was out with him, and we were talking, and he says, "You got to tell me about your last relationship." And I said, "Well, it wasn't really a relationship," but he says, "Who was it?" So I said, "Oh, you would know him, he does it." And it was a small world. So long story short, when I told him who he was, he looked at me and he says, "Oh my God, he's engaged to my ex-wife."
Man.
I said, "Oh, so they broke up?" He goes, "Oh no, they've been engaged for 2 years." And this had only been like a month ago.
Oh, wow.
And I just was like, "Are you kidding me?" And as a single woman at my age, you really have to pride yourself on, married men are married, men in relationships are in relationships. I want nothing to do with you. You're single, you're dating, fair game. But if you're with someone else, I'm sorry.
We'll be catching up with you a lot on this journey, and we're very happy to follow you and to see, how this turns out and what the next step is for you.
I'm excited too. It's fun.
All right, we appreciate it. Thank you so much. We've had some amazing transformations over the past few episodes through the entire show, but I think this is the most dramatic so far. This is Paul, who has lost 215 pounds. Paul, how's it going?
Good.
So 215 pounds lost. So you were once 500 pounds.
Yeah.
And how long did it take you to lose this weight?
I lost about 100 pounds about 8 years ago, but after keep driving truck, the weight started coming back on. About a year and a half ago, I started about 417 pounds, and I've lost about 150 pounds so far.
So, what was the catalyst to lose the weight the past couple of years? What was it that drove you to do that?
Well, when I was 500 pounds, I ended up with respiratory failure in the hospital. And so it was just, I had to lose the weight. Like, it just wasn't, it was making my job harder. I just couldn't do anything. I'd be out of breath just going from like the bedroom to the washroom and stuff. So I had to do it, and I couldn't go hunting or anything like that. So in October of 2014 is when I really realized that I had to change something, because I went hunting with the guys, and every 200 feet they had to stop and wait until I caught up to them, and my heart was beating, thought I was gonna have a heart attack.
And what did the doctor say to you?
My doctor was pretty good. Other than my weight issue, my health was pretty good. My cholesterol and everything was all good. It was just, like he said to me, your weight's my concern, because eventually your joints aren't gonna handle it. So, like, I'm 49 years old now, so what's gonna happen in 10 years if I'm 400 some pounds? Am I gonna need knee operations, or eventually end up in a wheelchair because it won't be my joints will just give up being that heavy all the time.
So being like a truck driver, like how do you think that contributed to putting on the weight?
I long haul team with my wife, so we have like 51 hours to leave Toronto to be in LA, so the truck doesn't really stop. So a lot of the times it was, we pull into a fuel station, I'd fuel the truck and she would go get me, fast food, because it's the quickest thing to grab. And I drove nights all the time, so I was living on caffeine and sugar just to stay awake for the job. It's not an easy job. There's no real healthy food out there for us. We're all in fast food restaurants, or even the restaurants, like the corporation restaurants, they all cook with grease and everything. Everything has gravy on it, or it's a bread. Right?
Yeah. So, like one of the challenges with like losing this weight has been, that lifestyle. What have you done to kind of like adapt so that you can get fit while being a truck driver?
In the beginning, I started really listening to my body, and when I ordered a meal at the restaurant, I would get a takeout tray with it and take whatever half of what was on the plate and put it in the takeout and push it aside and then just eat what was left. After doing that for a couple of months, I really learned to feel what it was like when I was full. So as soon as I started feeling I had something in my stomach, I would just stop eating. And that started the body just losing weight. Up until the 80 pounds, all I did was just walk. I parked the truck further away from the buildings, walk into the truck stops. That's all I could do. And then after that, then I started doing some weights in the truck. I used resistant bands to begin, and now I'm up to kettlebells that I carry in my truck.
Oh wow!
Do weights.
And so how do you do that? Do you pull over or do that in the back?
No, I do that while the wife is usually driving. She wakes me up about 2 hours before she stops to switch, and I do a workout. It's almost like a CrossFit because it's all unstable. The truck doesn't stop, so my gym floor actually moves at 65 miles an hour.
Oh, that's pretty cool. Huh. And so what's your goal now?
Right now, we're kind of going after a number to get me into the 200-pound club, lose 200 pounds. After that, eventually, I'm going to work with my coach, and we're going to put on mass, and maybe eventually down the road be sort of competing, because I think it'd be a great part of the story. Like, I was 500 pounds, I've done this, and now I'm on stage competing with other bodybuilders that have been doing it for years, longer than I have.
Hi, we have Jennifer here. Jennifer.
Yes.
Welcome back to the show.
It's great to be back. Hey, buddy.
Hey.
So Jennifer is back, and this time not only is she competing herself again, but now she's a coach, and Paul being one of the people she's coaching. So tell me what it's been like to work with Paul.
Well, Paul is an inspiration to me every day. I mean, he's just watching his transformation has not only inspired me, but it's inspired thousands of people through social media. So I'm really proud to be a part of this journey with him. But seeing the highs and the lows that you've gone through, and helping him work through those has been really powerful to me. And to see where he's at right now is, I think, the most motivating for me, because I'm in contest prep now. And I've struggled with mindset, and I just look at someone like him who's getting up in the morning, getting to the gym. We made it a rule when we got really serious to hit this 200-pound club mark with him, that we changed things up a little bit in the truck for intensity, but we know that he's far surpassed that now in his fitness level. And when he goes to the gym, he's training like a bodybuilder. And so when he's at home, it's not an option. He's got to get to the gym, and he's got to kill it. And, so I'm telling him to do that, and it's inspiring me. He's getting up. He had me up in the gym this morning, dragged me out of bed. But his mindset, and I think we've talked about it, he's starting to visually see results on him now that as anybody that has gone through a body transformation or has competed, once you start to see those results yourself, it just becomes an avalanche of motivation for yourself. And that's the phase we're in right now with him, which is so fun.
I weighed myself the other day and it was 268.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
I think you can do it.
Oh yeah,
What do you think?
definitely. Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And how does your health feel now?
Unbelievable. My doctor's really happy.
Yeah.
I was just saying to Jen there today, like it's just easier even to work in the truck. Helping unload the truck, just even hopping up into the trailer. Getting in and out of the truck, I just have more energy.
It means you're more efficient at your job.
Yeah, exactly. It's just all around giving me, like this year hunting, the guys had to keep up to me.
That's a good turnaround.
Yeah.
No more truck stop food and.
Well, I still eat the truck stop, but just it's easier now. I pick healthier food.
Yeah.
A lot of egg whites when I go for breakfast, like egg white veggie omelets and oatmeal along with it, and then fruit. So like I'm not eating the big pancakes or the buffet stuff.
Yeah, actually, this is a confession, but I don't know if you do this. Most people think it's disgusting, but one thing I do, like in a pinch, is I'll even take like a carton of egg whites and I'll drink it. If
Yeah.
it's cold, it's not too bad.
Yeah.
Most people think it's gross, but it is like a healthy thing or whatever. So like.
I also even meal prep in my truck.
Yeah.
I've taken photos. I got a little rice cooker and we were cooking eggs. I was making up my eggs for the next couple of days.
Yeah, because everywhere there's grocery stores too. So you can
Pretty much. A lot of Super Walmart is where we pull in our truck.
Yeah.
And that's where I do my grocery shopping. So even with the meal preps, I was saying to Jen today, like doing this has even brought our grocery bill down now.
Yeah.
Because now I'm only eating certain foods.
Well, obviously, you don't make any excuses, and you're a testament to what's possible if you don't quit. So
Yeah.
we appreciate you being on the show, and we're gonna follow along and see where
Alright.
this takes you. So
Well, thank you very much.
thanks so much for being a part of this. James Hergott here with Radical Body Transformations, and I'm here with Jaime Filer.
Hey, James.
Nice to see you. Now, okay, you did some bodybuilding competitions in the past as
Yeah.
well?
Yeah.
Okay, talk about that.
I started competing in 2004, and the reason I started competing was because in and around 2001, 2002, I developed an eating disorder. I started my first diet when I was 11 and then just ended up taking it a little bit too far. By the time I was 15, I was hospitalized for the first time and the second time, and then at 16 I was hospitalized again one more time. And this was all because I was under, I guess, legal age. My parents had to force me into a program, but then once I turned 18, it was up to me whether I wanted to go back, and I still had the eating disorder at that point. And I was into varsity basketball, I was into varsity softball, like all of the varsity sports I was playing in high school, and it just kind of fueled the fire for my eating disorder. So when I was about 17, 18, I picked up my first muscle magazine, and I saw the guys on the cover, and I saw that they were maybe 4 or 5% body fat, knew that I was maybe 4 or 5% body fat, so it only made sense that I make the transition to bodybuilding. For some reason in my head, that was a good idea. So I did my first show in 2004, 2005, and then straight through till 2012, I did 10 shows. It wasn't until about 2008 or 9 that I finally started to recover. I enlisted the help of some professionals who knew what they were doing, like obviously a dietitian, a psychotherapist, a social worker, essentially a big team to sober me up. So my last show was in 2012, and that's kind of when I retired and called it quits.
Okay, do you know what the catalyst was for the eating disorder?
I just transitioned to a new school in grade 5, and I wanted to be the popular kid. I was the jock. I had like what I thought was a healthy build for, you know, a 10, 11-year-old girl. I was always athletic, so I was never super thin. I had a little bit of muscle on me, but I noticed that wasn't the physique of the popular girls at the time, and that wasn't the physique of the girls who had boyfriends. So I thought maybe if I took myself down to a 00, I'd be one of them.
Wow. And you used to look at these magazines, and now you're part of a magazine.
Yes, I am.
Okay.
I'm the online editor-in-chief and managing editor of Muscle Insider magazine. So I pretty much, myself and the editor-in-chief, along with the publisher, we kind of control the content of what goes in the mag, and then myself and the social media coordinator control what goes what you see on the social media communities and the website.
Okay, how'd you get involved in that?
About 6 years ago, I approached Scott Welch and I told him what a huge fan of the magazine I was, and that I'd already been working for bodybuilding.com and VPX and John Romano and all of these big names at the time. And I thought that what he was doing with the Canadian fitness industry, that is making a magazine geared towards Canadian bodybuilders, was so unique. And it was something I really wanted to be a part of. And
it was relatively new at that point in time.
100%. It was maybe 1.5, max 2 years old. So he said, well, let's give you a trial run. Send me some of the stuff you've written for bodybuilding.com and whomever. And you clearly enjoy going to shows, so why don't we give you access to our Twitter account and you'll do live play-by-plays of the OPA shows. And I said, done, sealed. So it started off with me as a volunteer about 6 years ago.
Yeah.
And I'd like to believe that I earned his trust. And every couple of years, every year or so, I was getting slowly promoted. It went from me running Twitter to me running Twitter and Facebook, which was a really big deal, to Twitter, Facebook, and the website, still working part-time. And then finally, he's like, you are such an asset to us. We want you coming on board full-time, 40 hours, 5 days a week. Quit your personal training job, we'll make it worth your while. And that was when, so it was about 3 or 4 years ago that I was taken on full-time by them.
Wow, that's
Yeah.
incredible. Well,
Yeah.
congratulations.
Thank you.
And what got you into the CrossFit?
I moved to Kitchener, Ontario at the beginning of 2015, and coming from Toronto, like downtown Toronto, always having been a city girl my entire life, I found Kitchener not as exciting. I don't know a great way of saying that. So I went to my nearest CrossFit gym. I joined a World Gym, but I also joined a CrossFit gym, CrossFit Kitchener. And a bunch of the trainers took me under their wing and they said, you clearly come from an athletic background, like something about you screams athlete. And we'd love to get you involved in the program. Start coming 2-3 times a week and we believe you'll fall in love with it. And the truth was, coming from, national level basketball, playing sports my entire life, and having fallen out of love with competitive bodybuilding, CrossFit was right up my alley because it gave me a chance to compete with myself, with other people in more of an athletic environment than an aesthetic one. So I didn't have to worry about diet. I didn't have to worry about what my body looked like anymore, whether I was too thin, too fat, on season, off season. It was just be an athlete all the time.
And what are your upcoming plans with it now?
With CrossFit?
Yeah.
So the world at large has the CrossFit Open, which starts on Thursday, and it's international. It's an online event, which means that you register online, and then once a week, every week for 5 weeks, CrossFit, as a corporation, releases one workout that the entire world does, and you submit your score online. So
wow.
you are ranked relative to the entire world.
Huh.
Yeah, which is insane, because there's no other sport that does that.
Yeah, that's very unique.
Yeah.
And so you were engaged to this perfect guy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. Talk about this. So you're engaged to this perfect guy.
So I dated this one guy, and he was the perfect guy. Like, he was the laundry list. He was nice Jewish boy, like everything your mother and father ever hoped that you would get in a man. And I was in love with him. I loved him. We were on and off for about 5 years, and then finally we decided to take the plunge. I said yes. And he was amazing, and it was amazing for about 6 months. And when the dust settled, I realized that I was a little too young to settle down. I wasn't sure about what I wanted. And I felt like I knew that I couldn't love him as much as he deserved to be loved, because I knew how perfect he was. And not being able to give 100% in anything, whether it's the gym or my job or my love life, eats away at me.
Yeah.
So, I mean, yes,
You're a perfectionist.
100%,
Yeah.
and even in love. So if I can't give you 100%, you need to move on to someone who can. So we broke up, but I almost feel more like I released him from this unhealthy relationship. Mm-hmm. And simultaneously, he also gave me his blessing to move on. And then fast forward 10 days, I was approached by another employee at my gym. Mm-hmm. And this was a female massage therapist, and she asked me out for coffee, and that was when I decided that maybe one of the reasons that he and I didn't work out was because men weren't for me. Yeah. So I decided to switch teams in early 2014. A lot of people have coming out stories. I don't feel like I ever had to come out. I never had to sit my family down and say, hey guys, listen, there's something I need to talk to you about. I'm currently dating a girl. After I broke up with my fiance, people would be like, so are you back in the dating pool? What's happening? And be like, yeah, I do. Here's her picture. And it was just so nonchalant. And so I'd be like, oh, okay. About half my friends were like, wow, I didn't see that coming at all, because I'd always been like obsessed with boys. Boys were always, you know, their pictures in my locker. I was a serial dater from the time I was 12. Like, there were just always boys in my life. About a quarter of my friends said, yeah, we saw that coming. We had a feeling. You didn't tell us, but it's okay. We knew. And then the quarter of my friends just didn't even care. They're like, cool, when do we get to meet her? Yeah, so it was really good. And then same with my family. I come from a Jewish family, so you wouldn't necessarily expect them to be okay with it. But they're very much of the opinion that as long as you're happy and you're safe and you're healthy and nobody's hurting you and you're not hurting anybody else, you do what you want. You date who you like. Yeah.
That's very cool. And speaking about family, you had an unfortunate circumstance with your father. Do you mind talking about that?
Yeah. I was sitting in class in university one day at York, and I kept getting calls from my mom, and I kept rejecting them because I was in the middle of a lecture and I was sitting between my two best friends, and she just kept calling and calling and texting. And this was like before smartphones, so it was just like a tiny flip phone. And then finally, after maybe this 20 minutes of persistent calling and hanging up on my mom, I went outside, I took the call, and she was sobbing on the phone, and she said, in 20 minutes, Rochelle is gonna pick you up from Downsview Station. I need you to take the bus from York, and she's just gonna be waiting for you. And I said, what, waiting for me? Rochelle was her best friend. She said, why? I said, waiting for me for what? Why do I need to get in her car? And she said, Daddy's been in an accident. There was an accident at the house. We need to bring you to the hospital. And at this point, I started crying. I told my best friends to grab my bag, take it home. I'm not coming back into class for it. Ran to the bus, caught the bus, subway. She took me to the hospital, and I swear to God, the second I walked into the emergency room, all I could smell was like burning. Wow. Just like the embers of a fire, the way you smell like after you put a fire out, that smoke. I walked in right away, and then I walked past a bunch of rooms into the family and friends waiting room, and I saw the housekeeper and two of my dad's nurses. My dad had Lou Gehrig's disease from the time I was born, so he had full-time nursing staff, like round the clock, 24/7, 365. So I saw two nurses crying, and I saw the housekeeper crying, and then my mom walked by, and everyone just started crying. And I said, can somebody please tell me what happened? And Eula, my dad's nurse, said, there was a house fire. There was a house fire, and your dad didn't make it out. And I don't remember anything about that day except when my brother and sister-in-law showed up and met us at the hospital, except crying and the smell of fire, and my mom being in the room with him the whole time. She asked me if I wanted to see him one last time, but I knew that it was too late. By the time he had been brought into the ambulance from our house, he passed away. So what happened was, my mom got there as the flames were blazing, and she and the fire trucks got there at the same time, and obviously they have a job to do, and I have so much respect to this day for firefighters, and I know that they did nothing wrong. They broke the window to his bedroom, which was facing out, and they were holding my mom back because she could see what was going on, and there was smoke billowing out of his room, and one of the firefighters had him carried somehow, and we're talking like 180 pounds of dead weight. Like, this is a man who's paralyzed completely, and he was taking him somehow down the ladder, and my mom kept screaming, you need to bring his ventilator. Like, my dad, as a function of Lou Gehrig's disease, he couldn't breathe on his own, so he was hooked up to a ventilator, like a machine that breathed for him. So if you don't take the ventilator, which weighs about 50 pounds,
wow,
out with the man, you're essentially cutting off his airway. There's also no way to manually bag him as you're taking him down the ladder. So he was suffocating and not able to breathe as they were bringing him down. And this entire time my mom is screaming, and she is watching him turn all shades of purple, and she's watching her husband pass away right before. So I understand and I acknowledge in the bottom of my heart that there's nothing they could have done because their priority was this man, not the machinery. So that is what happened.
Very sad. And how does that impact your life today and your motivations and everything you're doing?
One of my inspirations is the guy the co-founder and president of Quest, Tom Billio. And he, in one of his episodes or podcasts, said something so profound. And he said, how is the worst day of your life the best day of your life? And it's something that I reflect on all the time. And when he said that, obviously the worst day of my life was the day I got to the hospital and it smelled like a fire because my dad had passed away in our house. But then when I think about how that was the best day of my life, it was because from then on, everything I wanted to do and everything I wanted to be was to make him proud. He passed away when I was 19 years old, and he didn't get a chance to see everything I could have done and could have been and the impact I want to make on the world. And so every time I make a move and I think about whether that move is moving me towards my goal of making him proud or away from it, I try not to take any bad steps or steps that would move me backwards or steps that he would look down upon me and be like, I probably would not have done that if I was you.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, you know, we're very happy to be able to follow your journey. You're a unique person and you've accomplished a lot in your young life, and I think there's more to come. So I'm excited to see what comes this year and what you achieve.
Thank you.
So thank you so much for being part of this.
My pleasure, James. Thank you.
Following Michelle Joy Richardson over the past several months. The first day that we filmed her, we were actually right here in this facility at the gym side of things, and the transformation she's undergone has really been radical. It's been amazing. She's constantly posting. She's been doing these killer workouts and coming in just amazing shape. I am with Lori. She's with Two Chicks and a Lipstick, and we are here at Studio 222. And from what I understand, you've worked for a while in the fitness industry and you've gained a lot of, I guess people want to work with you. I mean, you're in demand. Tell me, first of all, how is it that you got into the fitness part of doing the makeup and hair?
Well, I started working in the fitness industry, I guess like over a decade ago, and I had no idea it even existed beforehand, but I teamed up with a photographer and we started shooting fitness models, and then from there we started shooting for magazines and covers, and it blew up in a course of 5 years.
You guys have been great at, first of all, branding yourself with the Two Chicks and a Lipstick thing, which is a great name, but also you have like a unique style. Like I actually heard people say that there's a style, it's like a secret or something. So what, like, I don't want you to give away your secret, but what is kind of the style and how have you guys branded yourself so well that people want to work with you?
I guess, like, to be honest with you, the way we approach makeup, I feel is maybe different, or maybe that's what people are talking about, because makeup, the whole hair and makeup process, it's an experience. Like, we have all types of people coming in here, from fitness models to athletes to everyday average women. So you, regardless of who you are, you have to step in front of the camera with confidence, and the confidence starts in our chair. So what we do is we bring out everyone's unique beauty and I guess empower them through makeup. I'm
assuming that, you know, when somebody's on stage in a competition, that's another totally different thing.
100%, yeah. Like, so stage, for example, lighting is normally coming from above because it makes your muscles look better. It makes your abs pop and all your curves show, everything with shadow and light. So great for your body, not so flattering on your face. So there's definitely things that you have to not do on stage that you could do in photography or in real life. For example, like one of the biggest things that we tell people are eyelashes. Everyone wants these like amazing long eyelashes, but if your lashes are long, when the light is hitting it, it's creating a shadow on your face. So those are things that people may not ever think of, because why would you ever, think of that? You just want to look like your best, and you think glamour, and you think long lashes equal glamour. Well, really, it could hurt on stage, right? Because it could give you that unflattering look.
You have sometimes people that might be cranky because they're low carb or they're lacking water or whatever. How do you negotiate those situations where somebody may not feel good physically or emotionally?
There's been times where, for example, we were at a show one time, we were doing hair and makeup, and we had an athlete sitting in our chair, and she just all of a sudden got really lightheaded and didn't know what to do. So she got out of the chair and just laid down on the floor. And we were so worried, we had no idea what to do. And then we were like, would you like some water? And of course, she can't necessarily drink water because
it's more important to look good on stage than to be able to walk.
And regardless of what we were saying to her, she was like, well, I haven't gotten a hold of my coach and I don't know what to do. And so, it put us in a pretty crazy position, but we're there, we're here to help in whatever way possible. So we just try to let the people run through the course of their emotion, and at the end of the day, they're in our chair, they want to be in our chair.
What do you think of Michelle? You've had a chance to work with her today. And
I'm so impressed. I think the fact that she's a mother of 4 and is 44 years old and looks like a rock star, that is so inspirational to a woman, because you get put under so much pressure. And to be honest with you, the one reason why I love doing makeup in the fitness industry is for transformations like this, because not only is it physically transforming, it's transforming emotionally, and like she was mentioning before, we spoke of mindfulness. Well, you need that in this world, because you need to go through the process of feeling one way to feel the other way. And especially for someone who's not used to being a model, right? So you arrive at a studio space, you're so intimidated, you've never even stepped in front of a camera, you don't know what to do with your body. Dave and Nichelle help make everybody feel comfortable. They're beautiful people, and it just it totally transfers to your experience here. And so it's all about good vibes, and good vibes make great pictures. If I just sat there and was quiet the whole time, who knows what's going on in their mind? They could be totally freaking out, and then they step on, they step in front of the camera, and it's deer in the headlights. They just don't even know what to do. Whereas when you're nice to them and you get to know them and you share your own personal experience with them, they feel comfortable with you, so that when they're there in front of the camera and you tell them, give me your sexy face, or do this, or flip your hair that way, they want to do it with you. They think it's fun. You kind of I guess you set the tone to the day. So it's cool. It's great.
So we are here at Studio 222. First time I talked to Nichelle, it was several months ago, and the goal was to take Michelle and to transform her and get her magazine ready. And here we are. Now she's going to be doing a magazine shoot with Dave, who is Michelle's husband. And she's put an incredible amount of work in. How do you feel about coming in today and the conditioning that you've brought?
It's great. We were just talking about it. I love it. It's a different physique than competing. So I competed in figure, and I loved it. It was a great experience. But this has been by far a really awesome experience. And the physique is one that I feel I can, for the most part, maintain, live with. And I've had more women come up to me in the last few months and say, I was just at Costco the other day, and 2 of them stopped me and said, that's what I want to look like. And I didn't get that a lot with figure. I didn't get a lot of just your average women saying to me, I want to look like you, or I could look like you. And so that to me is inspiring. I've had a couple of friends that tag along for my workouts because they want to see what I'm doing, and they're like, you know, it's a physique. I think what Nichelle has given me is a physique that's it's different from figure, but it's certainly, I think, attainable for perhaps more women, but also one that I love it. Like I love it. It's sexy, but it's muscular, but it's a good mix. Mm-hmm. It's a hybrid. It's like a mix between
it's a true athlete kind of thing,
yeah.
right? And it's also easier for submitting to magazines because your mainstream fitness magazine doesn't like to have someone too ripped, doesn't want someone too big. So we have to be careful with crossing that line, right? So always give, pull back, give, you know, and it's between feedback and progress and, you know, always communication is really important, especially, well, in any coaching environment, any client and coach. But yeah, we're just really careful. We maintain communication throughout the whole process, and you know, and knowing her goals and what her end result was going to be, I had to just really kind of tweak it accordingly.
And you did a lot, yeah.
Yeah, so we're going to find out today and, you know, work our magic and see what magazines we can get you into.
It has been an incredible transformation. Now you're, she was talking about the difference between, you know, figure and this kind of physique. What is the difference, and what is the different approach between a figure and sort of this, what would you call it, like fitness photography physique?
It was just more, just not bringing her in too big. Like let's say for figure training, we want to make sure that we really bring out the shoulders. So especially for symmetry and purposes and whatnot, bring in the shoulders, bring in the waist, and just everything. But with fitness modeling, we just, like I said, you can't get too big. You just want to stay kind of overall more athletic, more kind of, I wouldn't say rounded, I can't think of the words, but more athletic looking. So we're just careful at not building too much and keeping that balance between the cardio and the food. And it's just, you know, it's one of the, and everybody is different, but everyone's body is different too. So what was good for Nichelle doesn't necessarily mean it's good for everyone. So again, the communication and just feedback between us both was really important in this whole thing.
What drives you to push yourself so hard and to be able to fit the time in?
Well, fitness has been a part of my life forever. I was a competitive figure skater, played every sport, was certified to personal train at 18, trained professional athletes, put myself through university by traveling to corporations, training executives. I taught 17 aerobic classes a week to pay for university, and got married, had a career, and kind of put the personal training aside. Still maintain the gym and always set fitness goals. I've run marathons. I competed in figure. So for me, it's not fitness, and the gym is, I walk in there and I know people say it's your happy place, but for me, it's family. It's another extension to my family. So my nickname at the gym is Chatty Cathy, because I'll talk to anybody and I'll walk up to anyone and I'll say, you look great, you're doing a great job, and I love those leggings, where'd you get them? And you know, and sometimes that gets me in trouble because my workouts are a bit longer than they should be, but and then there's other days I go in there, you know, the job I do is sometimes very stressful, so I go in there, I put my beats on, and I'm in my own little world, and that's my hour and a half to myself. So I, as a mom, like, it's the oxygen mask. You got to give yourself that oxygen mask before you can give it to your kids. So, and I'm a firm believer in that. And so I take that hour and a half or whatever I have to do, and it's just for me. And then when I get home, I'm on. Like, it's sports, it's kids, it's family, it's, but the reality of it is, James, that I have laundry sometimes. It's piled up to here in my closet. Sometimes I'm pulling out pre-made, not food I made, but pre-made frozen meals that for the kids. Sometimes I'm running to soccer, still sweating from my workout, and I'm not a hot soccer mom. I just came from the gym, and you know, I'm taking this kid to soccer. And other times it's saying no to friends and going out. As you know, I've been on a bit of a dating hiatus, so that one in the background, whatever it is, you have to prioritize that. So that's how I balance it. And then sometimes I don't balance. It's the reality of it. Sometimes I fall off the scale and it's not balanced, and I got to recheck it and figure it out. December, I lost my big brother, who was more than just a big brother to me. He was diagnosed terminal and a few months later gone. And he lost his voice. And so a lot of our communication was through text. And I still have all his texts, and I've only been able to read a few. But a lot of his message was live life. Get your bucket list, like live life. Forgive stuff. You want it, do it. Go for it. Get it. Life is short, and you got to live it, basically. Just live like you're dying. So I took about a month to grieve what happened and get my family in order, because it's been really tough. We're a very close family. And I made a bucket list. But the fitness one was sort of succinct and to the point and easy, not easy to achieve, but it was quick, and I could do it probably in a few months. And I needed to fall back on fitness to grieve. And I needed, there were times I was in the gym and I was just crying, but it's okay. I was in the gym and I was feeling alive, which I'm sure he wished he felt. So I just said, you know what? I've done competition, I've done marathons. I'm 44 years old. I want to be published in a fitness magazine before I'm 45. And it just went from there. And then you guys connected me to like the team to go with. If this is your goal, this is the team to do it with. If you're going to do it right. And I'm just ticking off number one on my bucket list, and it's been awesome.
We are at Studio 222 with David Laus. Did I say it right?
Yeah, that's good. Yeah.
Okay, and this is also OTC Toronto, which is a training center. So it's basically a gym, a studio, everything right in the heart of Toronto. And Dave's put this together. He's well known in the industry. He and his wife Nichelle both are part of the fitness community. And then Dave has been working as a photographer. He started out doing fitness, and now he's working in the commercial side of things. So we're right here in the studio, and we're doing some special things today. So I want to start by asking Dave about, the process of actually somebody comes to you and they're, doing a show and they want to get pictures. What's unique about doing fitness photography?
It's very unique as far as timing. Like timing and planning is very essential for fitness photography. Timing and planning as far as the person who wants to do the photo shoot has to decide at what point they want to take pictures of their body. If we usually recommend up to 2 weeks before to 2 weeks after a show or after a goal date.
Can you walk me through kind of the process of the different types of looks that people tend to do and what they base those choices on?
Sure, especially with females. Most females come in here wanting to do some sort of fitness look, whether it's going to be for a submission for a magazine that's going to document their physique and show them as some sort of role model or show them the best in their condition. And then a lot of them want something that's special to them, whether it's somebody likes guitars and they bring in a guitar, or they have a favorite. I just had somebody on the weekend bring in a large native headdress, something that documents or means something to them. Some people bring those kind of things, and some people just come in and they want to do the fitness stuff and do, as far as the females go, some sexier type shots that will document what they wouldn't normally do outside of doing pictures. So, and use those for submissions or for social media or things like that. Lori and Val, the two makeup artists that work together, they for two chicks and some lipstick. They make sure that these girls look amazing, and hair and makeup is really, really important for a photo shoot. Number one, it makes a big difference with the lighting, and number two, it transforms the model or the client from what they walk in here looking like to what they present themselves in the pictures. So it makes a big difference. Some of the magazines I work with, we know exactly what they're looking for because we shoot their actual content. So we can adjust the styles of the models to make it look like what those magazines are looking for. And a model might come in here one day and shoot, and we just shoot a bunch of styles for like 5, 6 different magazines, and we submit them, and hopefully they make it into one of those.
Is there a certain way that people can contact you if they want to work with you and do some photo shoots?
Absolutely. They go to my website, davelaus.com, and basically, or just search for me, davelaus.com, you'll find it. It has all the information there about the different packages we have. We have various packages from 1 hours to full day shoots, to workout shoots, which Michelle's doing today. So basically what Michelle is doing, she's gonna do a workout shoot with us. Nichelle, my wife, Nichelle Laus is a fitness expert. She writes for various magazines that we also work with. So she wrote a workout for Michelle to do today. We'll shoot it and style it the exact same way we would when we shoot for the magazine itself. And basically that workout will be be perfectly ready to go for submissions to whatever magazine we're submitting it to. I've been watching Michelle from when she first signed up with Nichelle and through Darren and came here the first time to kind of film something. And I've been seeing her progress along the way, and I think she's come in really well. Her tan looks really good too, her conditioning looks really good. So I'm pretty impressed with what she's done. So.
Well, we really appreciate you inviting us into your studio and letting us see some behind the scenes. So thank you for that, and can't wait to see the finished product.
Great, thanks.
Lori and I were talking about mindfulness, which has been a huge part of this, which is I just stop sometimes. And she was doing my makeup, and I felt the breeze on my face, and I just went, I can't believe I'm here. This is so awesome. Like, this is just so great. And you can hear the birds, and that's what life's about. And so some people have said to me, oh, you must be doing this, like you must be meeting lots of guys. And I'm like, no, actually I'm on a dating break, because this has nothing to do with men, nothing to do with sex or sexuality. This is just something I wanted to do for me. When my brother was passing, I took some time off work, and I spent some time with him and helping the family to deal with it. And I would go into the gym and I'd try to work out, and my muscles shut down. I couldn't work out while we were in the last little bit of his life. So I just spent all my time with him at the hospital. And so after he passed, I went into the gym, and it was just like my body, I just had this, it burst. It was just like the body had rested, and the mind was now ready. And I surprised myself sometimes by being able to do the program, which is really, the food's easy. The food was easy, the program was like, holy crap. I was doing things I've never done before. A year ago, I would have been anxious. I would not have been absorbing every minute of it. I woke up this morning, I enjoyed my little bit of espresso and my pancake. I sat down, the kids are away, so they all called and messaged, and I talked to them, and I was like, I'm excited too, and just absorbed it, sitting in the chair, feeling the breeze, watching everyone moving around, and I'm enjoying every second of it. It's like your wedding day when they tell you stop and think and enjoy. It's true. The little things in life like this, this is a big thing, but you've got to slow it down and just sort of go, oh, this is fun, and put it in perspective, right? Like this, I signed up for this. Like, this is for fun, so enjoy it. And if I'm not exactly where I want to be physically, but I am, but I'm just saying, like, it's just enjoy it, and don't stress about anything.
And anything we can do in this world that can inspire people, I think, is a beautiful thing. So we are going to hook you up, because Popeyes is making you officially sponsoring you now.
Yeah, awesome.
So we got a bunch of swag in there for you.
Nice. Oh, nice. I like that color. Yeah. Thanks, James. I know Popeyes has been awesome. I have to do a shout out to Josh at my Popeyes in Newmarket, because he's all pink. He's been so great at helping me along the way too. I do exactly what Nichelle tells me, but then he's very good at telling me which brands are more cost effective and Yeah, he's really good. He's like, you know what, you get more bang for your buck with this one, or these guys don't. Yeah, he's been awesome. So I have to say Popeyes, and I refer a lot of people to Popeyes because I think that they really do care.
I thought for you, being a working mom, I would hook you up with a mat so you can do your abs or whatever other stuff you want to do at home. And so when you're in a rush, we can fit that stuff in. So thank you for being part of this process.